What I am about to show you now is how to complete the wall framing assignment number 2 here. In this area, what we're going to do is we're going to recreate exactly what's on the screen right here, and then we're going to end up putting a window in this thing at a particular size, and all those sizes of everything are up here in the instructions right here, so I'm not pulling these measurements anywhere but using these that are up here. So the first thing we got to do is recreate this part right here. So I'm going to start off by drawing a line. I'm going to say 10 foot. So 10 foot's relatively big. The size of a stud is 7'9". So I'm going to come up 7'9". And then I'm going to come over to the right another 10 foot again. I didn't notice that I didn't drag that all the way over, so I will make sure I connect that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create my bottom plate and my stud right now. So I'm going to hit the offset button, and this is what is the offset distance you'd like to go. Before I click anything, I'm going to hit 2 enter. It says what do you want to offset? So I'm going to offset my bottom plate down. I'm going to offset my stud to the right. I'm going to offset my top plate up, and then I need a double top plate on the drawing. So I've almost recreated that thing on the piece already. Now there is a certain distance between each stud, and those distances are going to be 16 inches on center. So I'm going to hit offset, and it says what is the offset distance. I'm going to go 16 enter, and I'm just going to choose the outside line here and go to the right. So every 16 inches there's supposed to be a stud in here, and in this scenario as well I'll go 2 enter for the offset command, and I'm going to make the thickness of those studs. Now what we've got, it said that the box on the assignment was like 52 by 40 high. So I know that half of 52 is 26, and I know that half of 40 is 20. So I'm going to make it 26 by 20, my box. 26 by 20 down. So let me show you what I mean by that. I am going to, actually I got to do one other thing first. The top of a header of a line is typically going to be 6'8". So I'm going to draw a line. I turned my O-snap off if you didn't see that. I turned that off so it wouldn't snap to the end there. And I'm going to draw a line from here, and I'm going to come up at 6'8". Now what that just gave me, I'm going to turn the O-snap back on now, is a spot where I can start my wall from. So it just, or not my wall, my whole opening from. It said that I was 50 wide. Actually it said 52. I just want to make sure I type it in right. 52 wide by 40 high. 52 wide by 40 high. So I am going to go 52 enter by 40 enter, 52 enter. So what did I just create? My window opening. Now what we need to do is place a header in here, and if you look at the assignment it says that the header is a 2x12 header. Well, you're not going to see, it's going to look like something like that on the page. You're not going to see the 2-inch part of it, you're only going to see the 12-inch part of it. Now what I'm going to produce here is a spot for my trimmer first. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to come over 2 inches, only because that is going to be the size of my trimmer. So I'm going to go 2 enter, and I'm going to come up then at 12 enter. I'll be able to explain this a little bit better in just a second. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go from there. I'm going to come over 2 enter, up 12 enter. And then I can go ahead and connect it across. My mouse is really jumpy in this program. So now this is my header. Well, what holds the header up? The header transfers weight around the window opening. So what I have now is I need a trimmer to hold up the header. I'm going to turn on my polar tracking button. It should help me do what I'm about to do. I'm going to select the outside of that header line. I'm just going to drag it all the way down. I'm going to select the inside where the window one was at, and I'm going to drag it down. What I just created right there is a trimmer. Now this piece of wood right here, this trimmer, holds up the header. Now in every single one that we do, a trimmer holds up a header, but then we have to have an outside stud. So I'm going to come over here and hit offset real quick. I'm going to go 2 enter. Select the line. I'll go way to the left of it. Now this line, this space right there is my outside stud, but so now I've actually got to select that, and I'm going to run it the rest of the way up. So there's my trimmer that holds up my header, outside stud. And the outside stud goes all the way down. So when I look at it right now, it looks like I've got 4 pieces of wood all in a row. Well, this one right here is a stud that's every 16 inches on center. This is actually a space. There's nothing there. This is the outside stud. This is the trimmer. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Alright, I just finished up the other side, and once again, if you look at it, you've got a trimmer that holds up the header, and I've got an outside stud. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and offset my windowsill. And now what I need is the cripples, and the cripples are the smaller studs. Remember that they're there to, on this example, they'd be there to transfer the weight to the header. The header then would transfer the weight to the trimmer, and then the trimmer would transfer the weight down to the bottom plate. Well, on the windowsill, we definitely need to be able to attach drywall and things to. So I'm going to come over here and hit my offset button. I'm going to type in 16 enter. Now this line right here was my normal 16 inches on center line. So I'm just going to go this way with it. Keep going with 16. Every 16 inches, no matter what, there's a stud, so we can attach drywall. Okay, and each one of those studs is 2 inches thick, so I'm going to go offset 2 enter. This one over as well. Alright, so obviously I can't have my trimmers and things or my cripples going through my window and my header, so I'm going to come up here to my trim. And I'm just going to select the top of the header, and I will select the bottom of the windowsill, and then I'll right click. And it says, what do you want to trim out now? Well, I obviously don't want these lines inside of there, so I'm just going to draw a box around them. So that just gives me my 16 inches on center. Now if we look over here to the right on this one, so we've got a trimmer that holds up a header, an outside stud. That is actually a gap or a space. There's nothing there. This is my normal 16 inches on center stud. This is a normal 16 inches on center stud. And you will be finished with the drawing after that.